If you watched any of CNN's New Year's Eve coverage, you might have seen something you wouldn't expect. A reporter on what's known as a cannabis with pothead partiers. We have Dan Gainor with the Media Research Center to talk about this story and its aftermath still making news. Dan, thanks for your time. First of all, tell us what happened in that live report.
Well, what happened was CNN embarrasses itself every year at New Year's Eve, and it tried to outdo itself this year by having reporter Randy Kay get on this so-called cannabis, and it's a bus filled with pot-smoking partiers in Colorado, and to the point where she's even wearing earrings, pot earrings, and encouraging people to smoke pot. She showed a gas mask. This is one of the crazy things that pot smokers do. She showed a gas mask with a bong attached and then handed it to somebody to go try it out, encouraging them to smoke.
Dan, have we seen anything like this before, even though marijuana is legal in Colorado? Was it the right thing to do?
No, we haven't seen anything like this before, thank goodness. But CNN has humiliated itself on New Year's Eve before. Last year, Don Lemon appeared to get drunk and get a piercing. Previous years, they had Kathy Griffin do embarrassing things that I won't even discuss on air because they were so awful. So it seems like basically there's no holds barred for CNN every New Year's Eve.
Well, what has the fallout been? Has there been any fallout following that live shot that clearly embarrassed Anderson Cooper?
Well, I mean, a lot of things happen on New Year's Eve that embarrass Anderson Cooper, and he still does the New Year's Eve broadcast every year. When Kathy Griffin embarrassed herself and humiliated herself in front of him a couple of years ago in a way that, again, can't discuss, he still does the New Year's Eve broadcast the next year. So I think it's kind of an act. And the fallout is they get mocked a lot. But I think in CNN's mind, that means they get talked about a lot.
Well, and maybe some ratings, too, that they haven't been getting. So what does this say about the news judgment of the mainstream media?
They have none. I think we've moved into, bread and circuses, very much like the whole Roman notion of we're just going to do something to entertain the masses as long as the masses watch.
So it's really about entertainment rather than journalism. Does this indicate a greater problem, Dan, when it comes to professionalism, what and how news is reported by the mainstream media?
Well, absolutely. We've seen the whole Trump era of journalism has gone, if you'll pardon the pun, gone to pot. And, so CNN spent a whole year acting like its staff were on drugs. Finally, the end of the year, it showed that they were willing to encourage others to do the same.
Well, I think it's going to be another wild year. So what advice do you have for viewers when it comes to news sources?
Well, it's going to be, for all that 2017 was absolutely awful, 2018 will be far worse because it's an election year. And that means viewers need to take everything, not just with a grain of salt, but with a mountain of salt. Because as we see with Trump's tweet yesterday about North Korea, the media want to treat it like Trump is the one making things worse. But you can go back into 2016 when Obama was president and North Korea was threatening to nuke the United States. Journalists aren't journalists so much as activists now.
Well, Dan Gainor with the Media Research Center, thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you.